Peace. Welcome to the show. This right here is Humble Beginnings, where we simply live it through. I say it all the time. When I say simply live it through, I'm just saying that no matter what adversity or diversity we go through, all we can do is walk the path accordingly. That's all we can do, because that's life. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much all we can do. What's going on, y'all?
What it do, fam? Chilling.
What's up?
What's going on with y'all? So we're gonna do this. Gonna be a little different today. I ain't got no questions for y'all, right? So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna be talking about red flags. You know, we see the title. Everybody seen the thumbnail. We're gonna talk about these red flags. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna state the flag, and then we're gonna discuss the flags. So instead of me forming a question, I'm gonna just put it out there. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about whether or not we even think it's a flag at all. Personally, I think it's a flag because I'm gonna state them. But I'm gonna see what y'all think about it. Do y'all think it's a flag? Do y'all think it might not be an issue, or it might be harmless? So
I don't like it.
that's how we gonna do it. Chef Joe, what's up, man?
What's going on, y'all?
What's up?
So in between, you might want to mute up because you can hear the youngest in the background.
Long time no see.
Oh yeah, felt like it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's just go ahead and get into this thing, man. The first flag. We talking about red flags of the women. The first flag is male friends. That's the first flag we're dealing with. Females who think it's okay to be having male friends. I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna still let y'all go. Josh, what's your concept? Females with having male friends.
I mean that could be tricky, man, because some men be insecure, like their women always go cheat with their male friends and all that. But sometimes you can't be friends without doing the do as they say. But I guess it depends on the people and their relationship and what they discuss in the beginning. Do they feel comfortable about each other having different genders as friends and all that dating?
How you feel about it?
How I feel about it? And you asking a single guy who's been single for so long, so
I mean, I'm just asking how you feel about it.
I mean, I'm secure in my manlyhood. I mean, it is what it is. If she could do it, she would do it anyway with me or without me. So shit, fuck it.
Okay. Matt, what you think about this?
I think it's based on the type of relationship you want. For me personally, it wouldn't work out, because if I'm gonna be with a woman, it's gonna be something serious, and we're gonna act like grown folks. All this opposite sex friends is childish unless you got like a profession or you got a business where you need that many friends. We don't need friends. We don't need that many friends like that. Most of the time when females have a lot of male friends, these dudes ain't even bringing no value to their life. Like, it's no purpose for them to be around. Like, if it ain't no purpose, it ain't no value they bring as far as a career or anything, you don't need to have them. But I will say it's based on the type of relationship you want. Like, if I was just had a home girl, I wouldn't mind, or even if I was dating, I wouldn't mind it, but we would never be serious if you got a lot of male friends. We had to cut that out. So that's my point on it.
Caprice, what you think about this concept? These the women having male friends. You a female. Let's hear your side. What do you think about it?
I think it depends on the man. I don't think every man consider this as a red flag. And then I think it depends on how many male friends this person had and their sexuality. Because me, I don't have many male friends, but I do have one gay best friend. So some men don't find a problem with it, especially if it's a case of like they grew up together and it's more like a brother sister type concept or whatever. And you could tell when it's really like brother sister and when it's just like, oh, that's my sister and that's my bro, and it's really not. But I just think it depends on the man. It seems like from what I'm seeing per internet, a lot of men consider this as a red flag.
Yeah, and that gay best friend sometimes done hit before too. So I don't trust that gay best friend.
No,
They gay.
no, you can tell when somebody is strictly gay and when somebody has dabbled in vagina.
Strictly gay guys still have dabbled in vagina before.
I mean, I guess, but I'm saying from my relationship with my best friend, no, the thought of vagina just turned him off. So
Wait, I've had a conversation with that dude. He told me he dabbled.
no, he hasn't dabbled.
Yes,
I mean,
he did.
he had a girlfriend before.
I'm telling you what he told me now. I asked him that question straightforward, and he told me he dabbled. I'm just saying what he told me now, because you saying the thought of it, he actually told me he dabbled.
He told me he had sex with a girl, he had girlfriends.
You said what?
Did he tell you he had sex with a girl or he had girlfriends?
No, I asked him, I said, are you like you straight gay or do you mess around with females occasionally? He said, I dabble. Those was his words. He said, I dabble. That's literally what he told me now. I'm just saying what he told me.
He's never has dabbled. No, he don't dabble. He do not dabble. He's a whole bottom. What are you talking about? He does not dabble.
I'm telling you what the man told me. That's all I'm saying.
He probably told you that, he probably had girlfriends in the past. So he's not currently dabbling.
But see, what the context you're giving wasn't my I'm telling you the question that I asked. The question that I asked was exactly what I just said. And he said the term he dabbled. All I'm doing is saying what he told me now.
Well, maybe he lied to you, or maybe you heard it wrong, or maybe you didn't understand what he was saying. If he said he used to dabble, like before he
didn't say used to. He said I dabble.
I could call him right now and ask him. Listen.
You're that's not the point. Only thing I'm doing is telling what the man told me. Now, if that man lied, then he lied. But that is what that man said, because I asked the question, and his response was, I dabble. It was 2 words. I dabble. That's what the man said.
No, he doesn't dabble.
Now, if the nigga didn't mean it like that, he didn't mean it like that. I personally don't care. I don't rock with gay people. So I don't really care about that.
Anybody else that have asked him like, "Oh, do you like women too?" Like, no, I used to have girlfriends before I fully.
I don't. But I'm not putting.
I don't know if he was trying to get like some points with you or whatever. But he does not dabble. He does not go between women and men currently right now. No, he does not. He is strictly.
I hear you, but I gotta hold the man. I believe in word of bond, so I just hold the man to what he said. So let me give my synopsis on this thing. When it comes to male friends, and the reason why it's called red flags is because these are areas that could be danger zones. So people might, and I'm gonna use some just like how Josh said. See, people might say that you jealous or you insecure. First of all, male friends would bring a level of insecure. See, one of the problems that people have is people try to act like the dynamic between men and women ain't there. The same way how people today act like our nature can always be superseded by our mental level because people feel like it comes first. Men are opportunists. Most men are opportunists. And even when men choose to be like, I'm friends with this female, if that woman would offer that man some pussy, that man would take that pussy. Even that man who act like he wouldn't take the pussy would take the pussy. And a lot of times when you around these dynamics and people say certain stuff, a lot of times people say certain stuff just to make a certain person feel comfortable. But that doesn't mean that they won't be opportunists. And then personally, I don't see the benefit in having a female friend. Like we friends. Like, what's the benefit of me being your friend just to be your friend? I always say this all the time. Whatever I need to get done, my dogs could do. Now I can have female associates or in the form of like a secretary, but now we're not friends. I always make that very clear. I'm not your friend. We have no reason to be friends. What are we friends for? If I need to call on somebody, I got my dogs for that. If I want to vent, I got my dogs for that. I think the only female friend I'm going to take on will be the woman I'm dealing with at the time. That'll be my female friend, but I'm not friends with you if we're not fucking. And I've said this before, because the only thing a female can do other than my friends can do is give me some pussy. So personally, men are opportunists, and the dynamic between men and women, I'm not going to sit here and act like I ignore it. And insecurity is that of not feeling like something is going to be problematic, is not going to be comfortable. And I'm not rocking with that. And it's like, even with the gay shit, I don't trust the gay shit either. If I'm going to be with a chick, all that dies, or I'll just move on. It's not even a conversation. That's definitely a non-negotiable. I'm not rocking like that. Because I'm not going to have them, you ain't going to have them neither, or we can walk different paths. That's just personally where I stand on that. That's how I rock. All right. The second red flag is hoe friends.
What's a hoe friend, dog?
Hoe friends. A woman who seems to be her friends are open hoes. That they hoes. You get women who be like, yeah, she like that, but I'm not like that. Be around her mighty much.
We trying to say all the birds, all the fellas flock together.
I'm gonna let y'all dive in it before I get my. Matt, what you think about this concept?
Yeah, that definitely ain't rocking either. That's a red flag. And matter of fact, that's the same thing how you said about the other thing. It ain't even no conversation. You gotta go, because I care about your mental health. I care about how your mind works and everything, and that's just a void that's gonna be there. You got friends like that. I'm never gonna be at peace with you being with your friends. Because even if we take it away from the birds flock together point that some people make, I still have to worry about your safety. I still have to worry about what they may get into, because that wholeness brings it brings a certain level of energy around you that I don't want around my female. So even if you're not necessarily doing that, it's still going to be an issue. But I do believe that it's something about that you like or you admire it by, for you to be around it. Because if you didn't like it, you wouldn't be around it. So I'm falling back from you. You gotta keep it pushing.
I disagree with that, because if y'all been friends since goddamn kindergarten, man, you can't predict nobody's actions and how they turn out to be, goddamn.
What do you disagree with, though?
So you go cut your friend off just because she hoe around?
No, what are you actually disagreeing with, though?
The part you talk about, if your girlfriend's a hoe, I disagree with that part. You can't judge nobody because of their friends.
No, you disagree that she's a hoe?
That's a guy.
Because of her friends? I'm trying to actually get what you're disagreeing with. What are you actually disagreeing with, though?
On the question.
Oh, you ain't disagreeing with what I said?
No, I get your point of view, but my point of view is you can't judge nobody on their. I mean, some people do, but you can't judge everybody just because they're friends.
No, I got you. What I'm saying is, I don't care what's going on with it. I'm not comfortable with it. See,
yeah, that's what I say. I agree with your opinion, but
is the problem that the friend is an open hoe or she a down low hoe?
No, the problem is she's a whole period.
I know about
it. Like some friends could be real discreet and you don't even know that your friend.
The problem is she's a whole period. It ain't about her opening.
I don't know my friend is a hoe.
If you don't know
what you said, what was the last part you said?
I said it's because you can have some friends that you don't even know is a hoe.
Them ain't your real friends, then.
They real discreet.
Them ain't your real friends. If you don't even know they're a hoe, y'all ain't that close.
You know about all my friends' sexapades and
but that's the difference between people who have associates and then people who are friends. If my friends, I know about my friends and entanglements and things of that nature.
It's a difference between friends and associates. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. You should know your friends.
I have associated with hoes, just like how men be saying hoes are more fun.
But we're talking about friends, though. We're talking about friends.
So when we go out, this hoe is fun. I associate with the hoe when we going out and having fun.
You muted.
I do agree with the whole, like, if a close friend as a whole, because me personally, I'm kind of too judgmental, and I will let you know, like, I can't fuck with you on that shit, like, because I really don't understand why women do it. So like, I would be way too judgmental. You wouldn't even want to be my friend because I'd be way too judgmental.
That means you shouldn't be their friend either. If you're judging them that much, I mean you should remove yourself before they remove you.
I just said that I couldn't be a friend with a hoe because I am too judgmental. Mm-hmm. So a hoe wouldn't even want to be my friend for real.
But there, there's a lot of women.
Growing up, I have associated with hoes when it came to having fun, going out, because like men say, hoes are more fun. Women feel like hoes are more fun too.
Yeah, but if I'm with a woman, me personally, this ain't to negate anything you have said. Me personally, if I'm with a female, her having a female friend as a whole is directly against what I represent. So it's going to be a conflict.
I didn't say a friend, I said associate.
No, I know, but the question is about friends, though. It's not about associates. I understand you're trying to distinguish the two, but we're specifically talking about friends.
Right, I agree. That's a red flag if you're one of your close friends as a hoe. Yes, I agree with that.
No, you ain't.
It doesn't matter. Your associations don't matter, dog. Because people associate with people with specific things. You can have work associates. You can have like the associates is not deep. Well, who you call a friend is deeper than an associate.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I said I agree with the red flag.
And me personally, you shouldn't be hanging with nobody. Once we're talking about marriage, you shouldn't be hanging with nobody that's not a friend.
You shouldn't hang with no friend that's what?
He said you should be hanging with nobody who's not a friend.
Unless it's like a specific purpose. But for some, what are you hanging with?
I told you the purpose. To have fun.
Nah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap, yeah.
Work. Some hoes know how to work. They know how to delegate. They know how to, they know how to decipher certain things. Like
no. I'm about to match point. Like, I'm talking about to match point.
He's trying to say altogether, even associate, you shouldn't even associate with somebody that's a hoe. Like, what?
Yeah, unless you're doing work or business or something, what's the point? You got an image to represent. You're supposed to be a married woman.
Yeah, image.
You're a married woman. You need to conduct yourself as such.
Okay, now every woman is married out here, so I guess.
No, he's talking about if you married. It is very well known that if you're a married woman and then you got single friends and you got single friends, this could be very, very problematic.
All right, he talking about associates too. You said you don't have a problem with the associate part, but he talking about all together. He's talking about friends.
I mean, if you say all together, it's all together. The focus is still the friends, though. He's just putting the extra part that he don't even care even if it's an associate. I understand what he's adding into it, but the focus is still the friends, though.
Mm-hmm.
Bless you, boy. Yeah, it sounds close. So, like, hey, man, I agree with like how they say birds of a feather flock together. A wise person told me, and I've seen this to be true many times. If you cannot judge a person upon their own character, you judge them by the company that they keep. Once again, if you cannot engage of what kind of character this person is, then you judge them by the company they keep. And I believe wholeheartedly in that.
I believe that I do it. So
when it comes to that concept, you get in a relationship, if them friends is hoes, you're not about to sit here and tell me you're just completely different. Especially if it's somebody you actually be around like that. Because I also can dive into it and start talking about how the subconsciousness works. And even if you go into it not being certain things, what you keep around you then slowly become it. So we can play the game and act like it doesn't happen. Because people love to be talking about energy, right? So you mean to tell me you're around whole energy and that whole energy can't rub off? You know, we love using the energy word. You can become. You become it too. So.
And Chef Joe still got to go too.
He already answered it.
I already answered.
Yeah, he had already. He was like he disagreed, and then he was going to do the concept.
He don't think it's a red flag.
Well, I thought that was the first question. I got you.
Flag 3. Mockery.
Whoa.
What I mean by mockery, because I know there's somebody gonna need me to explain it, is when you get like women who downplay or they have a lot of that, like the talking crazy. Because when somebody talks crazy to you, it's a mockery. When you around any women who do this, this is a red flag. You got to be very, very careful. I want y'all to build on this concept before I give my spiel. Caprice, I'm gonna start with you this time. What you think about this concept of the mockery?
I don't know what you mean by talking crazy.
Like talking crazy. Like when you like within conversation, a woman who would even get to the point to use certain verbiage towards you, and get the talking hostile towards you. Talking crazy.
Like emasculating you?
If that's what the word you want to use, because it does just because she's talking crazy don't mean you're actually emasculating the person. That might be you might be attempting to try to do that, but that just because you're talking crazy doesn't mean you're actually doing that.
Okay. Well, I agree with that. I think that's a red flag for both men and women. Because I have this concept of like don't talk, like I won't talk to you how I want you to talk to me. So I don't like the whole like if you get in arguments you like fuck you and like I'm not with that shit. Even it comes to a point of you raising your voice too much, like not even raising your voice if it's like real hostile, like I can't do it, because like if we're trying to have a conversation, you're just gonna make me not even tune into what you're saying, because now I'm too focused on how hostile you are. So, and I don't, when we like, I mean, I could play aggressive sometimes when it's not serious, but we having a serious conversation and to get hostile. I don't get hostile with people I care about. So I don't expect you to get hostile with me. So I agree. I think that's a red flag for both men and women.
Matty B, what you think about this mockery, man?
Yeah, I don't tolerate that at all. I don't necessarily believe it's a red flag, because I think a red flag is an indicator of a problem. I think if it's to that point, there's already a problem. So it's like beyond a red flag if she's already to the point where she's talking to you like that, there's absolutely no respect there. So you have to check that immediately and put her in check, or if she can't be put in check, y'all just have to go y'all separate ways. But once it gets to that point, I think it's beyond a red flag, because it's like making someone seem foolish or silly. Like when I kind of like glanced at it, so like my relationship with my woman is gonna be built off respect more so than like I ain't your friend. I don't look at my woman as my friend or somebody you can. I look at like it's a hierarchy. So I believe that has to be respected at all times, and if not, she just gotta be removed. It may be a best thing, maybe a good thing for her, and it'd be a good thing for me. So yeah, once it's to that point, it's beyond a red flag, and she's out.
What do you think about this mockery, Josh?
So what was the question? Like the mockery?
Well, it wasn't a question. I'm stating the flag. So we're talking about mockery, about it being a red flag. So we're talking about engage, like say like the way people talk, even the actions though. It's not always verbal. You know what I'm saying? Because mockery would be like it'd be like making you look crazy or making you look fool. Because sometimes women do certain stuff in public that you gotta be like, all right, nah, don't make. Because even like the idea of like a woman saying she want to wear a certain outfit and then you tell her not to, her doing it anyway is a mockery.
Oh yeah, that's disrespect.
It's a way of showing that you don't have respect for
respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's more than just the way people talk now.
Yeah, like you say, I agree with you. It's the action and the talking. Like, yeah, me personally, I don't like to argue, so I'm not gonna argue with your ass in the beginning. So, like Matt said, I'm gonna tell you straight out, like, if you like to fucking argue and all that shit, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Cause what walk out on you. I would leave. I would do all this shit. Yeah, it's. So yeah, it's a red flag.
So
Personally,
none of y'all looking to be friends with y'all women.
I didn't say that. That was Matt. I believe relationships should start off as a friendship. And build
I don't understand your question. I mean, I said it in the first. I said it in the first part when we were with the first flag. I said the only friend.
I'm just asking because I did hear what Matt said, and I'm trying to see if y'all agree with not being friends with your women. Because from my understanding,
that's what I'm responding to. I said it when we were talking about male friends that the only friend that I should have that's a female should be the woman I'm talking to.
Because from my understanding, most of the men that have, like, I guess we could say successful, happy marriages, they said they was friends first with their wives. So I don't understand why you wouldn't want to be friends with your women.
Well, not friends to the point where it undermines the course of where I believe the relationship should go. Because I think sometimes you could be too much friendly with your woman, and sometimes it undermines the respect that needs to be.
What is too friendly?
To where you
I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking that in my mind too. I was like, what that look like?
the same way when you raising the kid and you too friendly with your kid and they don't look at you as a dad or a mom no more. I think the same thing can apply to a woman. Where you too friendly, you let a lot of things go, you too silly with her, and now she don't have the same respect that she needs to have for you.
That's just overstepping boundaries.
Well, that's really more so you just being passive.
Yeah, I don't think that's being too friendly or have anything.
But it comes from people being too.
No, that comes from you not putting your foot down.
And the reason
that's you being passive.
Yeah,
like
but
somebody being able to overstep a boundary is typically when you come to the point of you being very passive. The same thing with children, like the example you gave. The reason why it happens with parents is because you're too passive. It ain't not about being too friendly. You're too passive.
But I got that. But the passive can initiate from the friendliness that you feel with the person.
No, because people gonna try you. People gonna try you regardless, and if you let it fly, they're gonna keep doing it.
I agree with what you're saying. But it's the same concept when people think you're nice. Like when people think you're a nice person, they do it. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, it can come from. But even with that, people. But I agree with both of y'all because even with that, a lot of times people even trying it is because they already see you as passive anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they're taking that shot now. They're trying you because they already think you're passive. Mm-hmm. But I definitely but people do it all the time. Like people, like how people always say people take kindness for weakness. When people think you are nice, they'll do it. Mm-hmm. So I definitely get it. So yeah, man. When it comes to mockery, like I said, no matter what form it is, man, how we address this thing, man. I think the more disrespect is allowed, the more frequent it will simply become. I think a lot of things you just gotta make sure you gotta check it. You gotta check it on the spot. Sometimes people do they allow too much. So I think as long as you make sure you check what you need to be checking, you can kind of at least help navigate your respect level for how it comes. All right, this fourth one. So this fourth one, man, I actually learned this. I learned this the hard way. I learned this one from being married. This is a big red flag. Center of attention. When she feels she has to be the center of attention. Matty B, I'm gonna come to you first. What you think about this?
I don't necessarily have a problem with it because I'm trying to be in business anyway. So she's center of attention. As long as that can be, dictated the right way, it can actually be beneficial. Because
so just saying as long as you can control it. That means you want to be able to control the centerpiece.
Or as long as she's respectful with it. I don't necessarily have to control it, but as long as she's respectful with it, that's cool as well. Because I've met females that they don't mind being the center of attention, but it's not necessarily in a way where they're being provocative or they're like being desperate to get attention. It's more so their natural essence.
So usually people who want to be the center of attention are desperate for attention.
Yeah, it's some people that's automatically.
That's usually how that works, though.
Some people that already attract the center of attention without even asking for it. That's different from a person that wants to be. They are doing things to be the center of attention. It's people that naturally people gravitate to, and they have this natural thing about them. But people that wants to be the center of attention, they are actively doing things to be the center of attention.
I'm speaking to the want to be the center of attention.
Okay, even if it's a want, if it's built off of like her business, it's built off of something that's I could actually use to bring value to us, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. It's just according to how it's actually, like, I would have to see it or see an example or like how the energy it gives me when she does it. If it's one of them
basically how it makes you feel within the moment.
Yeah. But if it's like overall, like if she have a consistent like behavior, then I can analyze it over a time frame more so than just one occurrence. But like if it's like a social media attention where she's just showing stuff because she want attention and she just saying outlandish stuff because she want attention, that's a little different. But if she just like a people person, she like to start conversations, she like to be the hot topic of the conversation that's happening in the room, I wouldn't mind that because we could actually use that and get some money out of this.
Okay, basically you don't mind as long as you can control it.
That's basically
I'm about to say that's basically all you're really saying. Like, long as if I can control
I'm starting to realize a lot of his things go back to him being in control of his woman.
Man, saying he ain't got time to be playing around with you.
He wants to control every aspect of his woman.
Josh, what you think about this? When she wants to be the center of attention, what you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a friendly person. I get to know everybody, but that teacher second, for me, like that shit can be dangerous because you can send attention. They might be plotting like, who she fucking with, who she know, or might got money or some shit like that. But I just don't like it anyway because I don't.
And let her fuck around and get the right attention.
What's the right attention?
What's the right attention?
Let somebody come across that she trying to get attention, and somebody come across that's like looking better than you, got all this other stuff going on, and she got his attention. Oh, that's a dangerous game right there because you might be left behind.
I mean, like I said, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
People that really wants to be the center of attention, they are most likely hopping to the next best thing.
But best thing,
they typically choose their guys who also add to them being the center of attention as well. They don't typically choose like a guy who's just basic neither.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think that's a red flag with me. Look, I ain't no baller. I treat myself, God. If I'm in a relationship, I treat you too. But I'm not balling out on your ass, buying you Louis Vuitton. I don't even buy that shit for my goddamn self. Fuck, I'm making buy that shit for you. So I don't like that center attention shit. Nah.
If you think I've heard a lot of guys that get to the money and get to the bag that say they female is the one that has like accelerated that process because of her outgoingness and her ability to socialize. Because a lot of men that get money,
that's not being the center of attention.
You gotta let me finish my point though. But a lot of guys that get money, a lot of guys that actually are real business people and get money are actually antisocial. They're more awkwardness on the side. So a lot of times a lot of these guys that have like it's guys that actually get what you call it, not prostitutes, but what's the other word from it? When you like escorts. Yeah, there's a lot of business-minded guys that get escort because of that same trait. Because they know that brings a level of attention that eases, like how we say about the conversation we had the other day, Kevin, with the icebreaker. And some guys don't have that skill to have that icebreaker. I forgot what we call it, but like that what was the caprice we talked about the other night? Where guys don't have that
confidence, the breakdown.
Charisma. There you go. When guys don't have that charisma to be able to get in certain rooms to fit in, that type of guy would actually need a female to be a little more outgoing and bring attention to them so it can break the ice and he could be able to accelerate what he got going and meet with this other person or kind of have deals going through. So from that aspect, I look at it like that. So it would be beneficial to me as long as it can be administered in the right way.
I think I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that because I think you're confusing a social person with a person that wants to be a center of attention. Because I agree, like when you're dealing with a person that is social and they know how to move around in the room and talk to people and have conversation, that's not necessarily being a center of attention. When you want to be the center of attention, you want to do something that everybody has their eyes on you. That is way different than knowing how to socialize and move around in the room. Because most of the women that I mean, I get it because I heard it on the shows that you watch, so I know where you're getting that from. They are speaking in, they're not saying like all eyes is on the women. They saying like they women know how to discreetly move around in these circles and socialize and have conversations with people and bring up their husband to bring in, I guess, like business opportunities and all of that. And then I also disagree with the point of you saying most of the guys that get money are not social. That's a lie. You have to have some aspect of
sociability to
even, especially depending on what type of business realm.
How you making your money?
Yeah, depends on how you make it.
I said business minded too.
And as far as like the escort things, they're not getting escorts to be the center of attention. They're getting escorts just for the look, so it could bring them notoriety, and you know people are looking.
It's a networking scheme too.
Yes,
I
looking at them like, oh, that's a beautiful woman. How he get her, and then that start a conversation or whatever. And most of the time, them escorts they are hired not to even like, they don't really want them to be socializing too much because some people want to hide the fact that they're an escort. So they are not moving around and socializing in these rooms and stuff. How can you hire an escort to get you business when she probably don't even know what your business is? She just here for what she getting paid for. She don't really know you like that. So
I think you make all your points are accurate, but I think just because your points are accurate doesn't mean that my point don't exist. Because all you're doing is speaking on the opposite side of why it could happen as well. I'm not saying that don't exist. You speaking on the opposite side of it can happen because this person is actually just social doesn't negate the fact of what I said either. It just is the other part of it.
No, I just said I disagree. I don't care if it's right or wrong. I just said I disagree.
Okay.
The only thing I had to what y'all was saying is that, like, I agreed with Caprice. Being a center of attention is different from being able to network. Like somebody who's networking is not necessarily trying to be the center of attention. I do think that's different.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it. You know, so I never said it was the same. All I'm saying is, if she's seeking attention, but she's doing it for the right reasons, I don't mind it. Because either way, it can get the same results. All I'm looking at is what the results it can get, whether you're trying to do it or you naturally have it. So I mean, we're just speaking on naturalness versus someone who's trying to do it. But administer the correct way, you can get the same results with both.
But you know, y'all like to talk in probability and most likely and all this and that. So most likely, a person that wants to be a center of attention is not doing it for network reasons. If you find somebody that's able to really control it and all that aspect that you talking about, that is a minute person. That is a very rare person that wants to be the center of attention, that knows how to utilize it in that type of way. Because the difference between naturally being a center of attention, you know how to socialize, and wanting to be the center of attention and doing things purposely to be the center of attention.
Yeah, but I don't think he asked which was most probable. He asked me how I feel about it. So I'm giving the answer of how I feel about it. And I'm trying to be a rare nigga, so a lot of my answers are going to be rare answers.
But you're not a rare nigga.
Okay, but he asked me how I feel about it. So I never dated a woman like that either. So I had to speak on it. It's all probability.
So, I mean, I think the whole center of attention is a red flag. Because typically, like, I understand everything Matt's saying about, you know what I'm saying, you can control aspect environment, but typically a woman who wants to be the center of attention, it has nothing to do with trying to gain anything for anybody else. It's typically something to boost her ego and to make her feel good. That's typically what wanting to be the center of attention is. You just want the attention. And a lot of times they don't even want the attention for nothing other than just the attention. They just want to be seen. Constantly want to be seen. So they do things like.
That's why I agree. That's why I disagree with Caprice point, which he say people that want the most attention are typically leave the person if they find somebody else that's hiding that person. It's some people that ain't getting the attention to just leave either. It's some women that just like the attention. They can be married and be faithful, and they just like the attention.
Oh yeah. You definitely can have it on that side. She her.
Yeah,
I mean,
we said we were speaking on probability, right? We were speaking on all of that. So I could give another aspect to it. Some people that want to be a center of attention, like to hop to the next best thing. Some people do it even if they in committed relationships because they just crave for attention. Whatever.
I mean, y'all both correct. I mean, what they choose to go with it is, I mean, it is what it is, but it is their thing. Like some people like to just.
It's a self-fulfilling thing. It has nothing to do with their men. It has nothing to do with them trying to network and all of that. It's an ego boost for them. It's something about it that makes them feel good about themselves.
But I don't mind it as long as they doing it, as long as they doing it in a way that's respectful to the relationship. See, I only have a problem with it. Most of these stuff, I only have a problem with it if it affects what we got going on. Most of these things I don't have a problem with if it don't affect what we got going on. Like, I'm only controlling to the point that it affects this relationship, not overall. So if it ain't affecting this, it's okay.
So if you were more of like an introverted type of person, being around a woman or like being amongst a woman like that who's trying to be the center of attention could be a problem though.
According to how it's done, I agree.
Because well, even regardless of how it's done, typically if you're more introverted, you don't want the attention around you. Like you try to stay away from that. You know what I'm saying? So if she's doing that, that typically would be a problem if you're an introverted guy. Because you don't. The last thing you want is attention being brought.
Well, yeah, in personal life, but I mean, as far as like when I do business, I actually do socialize a lot. When I'm going to bars and I'm at these events, I'm actually am trying to socialize a lot, and that is something I lack, the ability to have that charisma to get in certain conversations and circles. So
no, I get it because you keep introducing networking. I'm talking about somebody who's supposed to be the center of attention, though. I get it. I get it when you talk about the realm of networking. I get it, but that, like we said before, trying to be a center of attention is not about networking. Like that networking thing is out the window. That's not what it's for. It's literally just for a personal gain. It's usually an ego buff. It's usually that. It's not about networking. Like I get it. I agree with you when it comes to networking. Having that charisma makes it a lot better, and women are better at connecting people. That's why women typically are a lot better at it than men. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't talking about that
because of the insight of a woman.
Yeah, we ain't talking about that.
To do with being the center of attention.
So, all right, this next flag, filthy.
Okay.
Filthy. How her upkeep is. Like, if you were to come around her house and you go in her car, if her car is trashy or you see certain things, this is a red flag. Me and Matt was actually talking about this the other day, so I'm gonna start with Matt because we was actually having this conversation the other day. We were talking about that, about a woman being filthy. What you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean that's a no-go as well. Like I said, that's beyond a red flag. Once I see it, it's a wrap. You know, unless, like I say, Caprice said I'm a controlling person. I agree. If she could be controlled out of that, that's cool. But
control out of it.
Controlled out of it, bro.
He's saying, all right, you filthy, but if I tell you to stop being filthy, you can snap out of the not being filthy because I told you.
The person that's filthy has been that way for a
long time.
I agree.
It's no way you can control that. No, then the first one, why would you even want to control the first sign of it, the first thing? It should just be a turn off. Like, ew. Like, I think this is for men too. Like, ew, no.
Nah, I agree with it. 9 times out of 10, I was just giving out the other side. 9 times out of 10, I ain't even dealing with a female. You know what I'm saying? That's like her car dirty. I saw a female today, her nails dirty, dirt on her, black on her nails, like stuff like that. It's a wrap. Like,
what if she was a gardener?
Huh?
What if she was a gardener? Like, what if she was a florist?
What if she was a gardener, a farmer, or something?
Yeah, what if she was a florist?
You got too much of a masculine job. You need to get
what?
A florist? A florist is not a masculine job?
No, not a florist. Not a florist. I agree with you. I ain't heard that part.
A farmer is a masculine job?
A farmer?
Yes.
Yes, you need to get out of. You don't need to be a farmer.
You know, there's many different aspects of farming, right?
I get you.
One aspect of farming is like gardening, like planting fruits and vegetables and all of that. Like that's masculine.
Not nobody that's just planting food, but when you say farmer, I think of something else when you say farmer.
Like what? Tell me what aspect of farming is like specifically
like somebody like you doing the whole process, like driving the tractor trailer, plowing through the fields. Like,
yo, nah.
I got family members at old land.
So then women shouldn't even drive cars if that's the case. Like you
a truck driver, you know, so many women are truck drivers.
I wouldn't take no women truck driver. I ain't taking no female truck driver. All the female truck drivers I see are masculine.
No.
They chewing tobacco.
You see everybody. I'm just curious about like how you get to see everybody. You see everybody in every different aspect. Married people,
yes,
hoes, every truck drivers.
I travel.
People that get emasculated. It's like you well-rounded, bro.
I'm well-rounded. I'm glad you see that. You understand?
Where your woman at? How you ain't? If you came across all these different type of people,
I came across too much. I'm like the opposite side. I came across too much that my standard's too high now.
That's fair.
I stayed. You got Caprice. At 22 years old. I left South Carolina to go live in my car to see the world. So that opened up a lot of stuff. That means I was sleeping at truck stops, which means I was living in my car for a while. I was going to gym. So I actually did a lot of stuff, going to random clubs, Puerto Rican clubs, just trying new stuff out, trying to learn a different language, eating at Thai restaurants, eating at different restaurants. So when you live your life like that, just trying new stuff, you see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but I don't never like when you tell us like all the people you know, all the stuff that you've seen, it seems like it's always on the negative. It's no positive women that you ran into, no positive relationships. It's always like downhill negative shit.
Nah, these conversations are, but you gotta see what type of question is being asked at the time too. So
I don't know.
I wouldn't date no woman who a farmer though, because see, farming is hard work, and if you think that I'm going to talk to you and I'm about to participate and with you and your lifestyle choices, this is not happening. So now, if she say she a farmer and she tell me I don't have to ever worry about touching this farm, but no, I still wouldn't talk to her though, because farming is a long day's work. Now, and she gonna have time for me.
That's 16, 18 hours.
A farmer ain't gonna have time for me. A farmer, she gonna need a nigga who gonna be on the farm with her.
I ain't talking to no police officer that's a female.
Nope, not doing it. I don't even want to talk to a woman who in the military.
Yeah, I was about to say next. No military women.
I ain't talking to no lawyer.
No, yep.
I'm definitely not talking to no bitch who is a psychiatrist. Oh hell no. Can't do it.
You think you a psychiatrist all the time?
That's why I can't talk to her, because we ain't gonna. That means we gonna always clash.
But she actually went to school for it. You just don't know.
I don't have to go to school to know the same information you know. If she at the house and she got books, I can read. I don't need what I'm gonna need her to read the book for me. I can read too.
I think it depends on what type of farming it is. If you just like planting vegetables and you got a garden or whatever, I don't think that's like a long days of work.
Come on, I'm trying to figure out why you want to talk about it in the military.
If you just have a small, it depends on how big you. I mean, of course, if you want your future vegetables to be like a big acre of a farm, yeah, but. I mean, for me, like when I get a house or whatever house I'm at and it has a big backyard or a backyard big enough for me to have a small little garden, I want to plant my own fruits and vegetables. Like, I don't see no problem with that.
They say a farmer is a person who owns or manages a farm. So what we say on Baby Boy, when his mom was back there planting those tomatoes, would we call her a farmer?
No, she's not a farmer. No.
Yeah, I'm saying too.
No, I was gonna say that. I was like, no, a farmer is somebody who's doing a lot of that other stuff. That a woman who planting a garden.
Agriculture.
So that's just a gardener.
Yes.
Yes.
But you said you wouldn't even date a gardener.
No, I said I
wouldn't date a farmer.
Farmer.
When we was naming a gardener and florist, he said no, that's too masculine.
Oh, you talking about Matt?
But remember when y'all said florist? I said, oh, I didn't hear that part. I heard the gardener part. I mean, I heard the
But back to the dirty nails, I agree with that. I hate men that have dirty nails. I hate men that you could tell they need a haircut.
What if you like? What if? So you don't like guys who got just like a more of a rugged look then?
Yeah, no.
What about facial? What about facial hair though? Because you know, like a lot of guys now with them beards, like how that gentleman underneath me.
As long as you keep it clean, and, I mean, you could look rough sometimes. I know it's like in between your 2 weeks or whatever, blah blah blah. But if this go way too far over, bro.
What? So let me gauge it. That this yellow brother underneath me, is this a rough looking beard?
Yeah, kinda.
Turn to the side, Josh.
Mine is rough too. I ain't got my hair cut.
It need to be a little shaped up. Like I tell, he ain't have probably a haircut, a facial cut, probably like in a week or so.
Yeah, I was in Mexico for a week, so yeah, I just got back Monday and was working.
Rough too.
I can gauge how long it take. No, see that? I don't even know what that is. What is that? It's not a beard. It's not a like.
It's growing in.
It's growing in.
You know. Every time you let it grow back, it got like a rough patch now.
But it's nothing in here. He got a goatee. I could see if he had a goatee and it was just like growing in on the sides or whatever. But he ain't like.
I mean, he don't wear a goatee.
So what are you trying to grow then?
No, and it look better once you line it up. It ain't lined up, so it just frizzy.
Yeah, I don't like the little pubic hair patches.
Yeah, no pubic hair patches.
That is pubic hair. That's what.
It's the same wideness and fullness as Josh, except it ain't as long.
No, that's what us women calls like peach fuzzes and pubic hairs when it looks like that because it's not fully grown out. It's just like
I got you.
Short.
Well, here's at one point was like this.
That's why I said when it's coming back in, you know, you're gonna have that you're gonna have like that patchy look.
All right, and that's fine, but I can't, bro. I'm not gonna deal with you in that growing phase. Like when it fully get together, you know.
Well, that ain't got nothing to do with clean either.
Some people be trying to grow it out, and that shit don't even connect, and it's like, bro, cut it.
That ain't got nothing to do with clean either, though.
Well, because the beard look like that doesn't mean that they filthy though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not speaking to the filthy part. I'm just saying it kind of makes your face look dirty though.
I got you.
Nah, I agree. It do adds a roughness to you. It do make you look a little rugged. Like, but there's a lot of women who like that rugged look.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to those women. But I agree with y'all with the filthy part because most people that is like that filthy. I mean, I could admit that for me, I probably take it a little bit overboard because you might not be filthy, but I might go in your bathroom and check out your cleaning products. And if I don't approve of your cleaning products, I'm like, is this nigga really clean?
God damn.
I don't see no.
You already at the house, you should know that.
I don't see no awesome in here. I don't see no bleach. Like, how do I know he killing bacteria in here? How do I know he really cleaning in here? He could just be wiping shit down. So I could agree. I'm a little overboard with it.
Yeah, I agree with that stuff. That's
I'm a little overboard with it because clean ain't always just because it's clean don't mean it's really clean. Like,
how are you cleaning? You could just be wiping shit down.
For real.
Dang.
You could just be swiping bacteria all over the place, ain't killing the bacteria, nothing. Like, but I agree that is a red flag. I think on both men and women. I don't care about people trying to give men the pass or like, oh, he's a bachelor, oh, he lives by himself, or this is how men are. No, you need to know how to clean up behind your goddamn self.
Okay. Fellas, do y'all got what do y'all got any flags that I missed? Those were just 5 things that stood out to me. Now there's more flags, but those were just the 5 that stood out to me. Y'all got any y'all want to add outside of the male friends, the whole friends mockery, center of attention, and filthiness?
I just thought about one. I just thought about one. Like, what if a female is like too friendly? What people would say too friendly or overly friendly with like
Overly
any
friendly.
guy that walk up to her, any person that walk up to her, even if it's the opposite sex, she just indulge in conversation and she has a closeness to her, like too friendly. Do y'all have a problem with that?
I would say that's social. I mean, to me, that sounds like social.
So that's a red. Before I say what I'm about to say, is that a red flag to you?
Oh, I asked y'all first. I want to ask y'all first.
But I can't answer that question. Well, I
he's asking to you, so you can answer for your behalf, and then he'll ask.
Me necessarily, I don't think that's a red flag.
So if you and him in the grocery store and you go down the aisle to go get something, he's standing right then, the female walk up on him and he easily indulge in conversation. He easily talk with everybody and laugh and giggle. You don't have a problem with it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I join in the conversation.
Okay, that's cool. How you
Josh,
feel
what
about
do you
it?
think?
Oh, go ahead, Josh.
Nah, I think she just being sociable. She might have that, like you say, energy drawn to the talk. Shit, I know people come up. I don't know motherfuckers and start talking to me. So I don't think it's a red flag.
I think it's a red flag.
I bet your punk ass would.
I need my chick to have an attitude about her. I don't want.
This is a problem.
I don't want a motherfucker to think I'm friendly, let alone my lady to be friendly. I got a personally. This is me now. It's just me. I think that's a red flag. I don't like that.
I don't know.
And the only reason, before you get in there, Caprice, let me finish. And one of the reasons why I say this is because it's dangerous with being over friendly. And I think you got to really weigh these type of things out. Because sometimes being over friendly, you might be the type of person that be so caught up in getting in conversations and looking at certain shit, you don't even realize, nigga, whom you be talking to at times. Like, I think that's just dangerous that you don't pay attention to as much when you're over friendly. Because he did say over friendly.
He said too friendly.
I said over two.
Which is, I mean, he did say
that. Now you want to add it on. He about to say it's the same thing, but now you want to talk about you said over too friendly. No, nigga.
I was about to say it's the same thing too. Being too friendly would be being over friendly.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So you think that's a red flag, Matt? Being too friendly.
Yeah. I don't like
it's
that.
It's kind of like a contradiction for you to say it's a red flag to be too friendly, but it's not a red flag to want to be the center of attention.
No, it's two different things.
It's two different things?
Yes.
Do you know that wanting to be the center of attention comes with being too friendly?
Not too friendly.
She got a point. She kind of got a point.
Yes, it does.
She kind of got a point with that one. Because she really got a point.
I mean, she do. I'm not disagreeing with her point, but it don't negate what I said. Because I said
it's a contradiction to what you said.
No, it's not a contradiction because I clearly said in certain situations, if it can be controlled, I don't mind the first.
So in certain situations, if her being too friendly could be controlled, then that shouldn't necessarily be a red flag.
Yeah, but if I just said she's friendly, if she's overly friendly, that means she's overly friendly all the time.
And if she want to be the center of attention, that means she want to be the center of attention all the time.
But I clearly said in a situation where we're what you call it, Kevin? In a situation where we're in an event or something, or we're trying to get business, I clearly
said too friendly in that event too.
Okay, if she's in an event and we can make money, that's cool. But if that's her naturalness of her, when anybody can walk up to her, no.
All right, so it's not a red flag then. If you feel like she could be too friendly when it comes to networking, then that's not really a red flag for you.
It is a red flag.
Okay. It's just a contradiction.
It's not a contradiction because I believe there's a time. No, listen, you gotta let me finish. I believe there's a time and place for everything. I don't believe you have to be one way all the time. That comes with knowing it's circumstantial. I believe you can be circumstantial even in behavior. I don't believe you have to be one way all the time. When I'm saying this question friendly, I'm talking about all the time. You're just overly friendly. Now, if you feel like most people can't do that, that's a different answer to it. But I'm saying what I prefer. I prefer situational awareness.
All right, I'm just trying to understand how wanting to be the center of attention and being too friendly, how those are, one is a red flag for you and one is not. If you feel like it's all about controlling it and doing it in certain environments. So if that's the case, then neither one should be a red flag to you, because if it comes to controlling it, she can control how too friendly she is. She control the environment when she being too friendly. So how can that be a red flag, and wanting to be the center of attention is not a red flag?
Because when we talk about center of attention, I was talking about in a specific place and time. Now, when I'm saying over friendly, I'm speaking on over friendly as that's just her all the time. So I can clearly say I like this in this environment, but I don't like this all the time.
So then you can say that for wanting to be the center of attention too. You can say that overall, wanting to be the center of attention is a red flag, but it depends on the environment or what she's doing it for.
Yeah, I can see it like that. If you
then so both of them are red flags for you.
Overall, yes. You asking me the overall point?
Then.
Yes, overall.
Okay, then. So now we have.
But when I first asked, I didn't contradict myself because I clearly stated in a situation of interacting, I was okay with it. I clearly stated it the first time.
Do anybody else feel like it was kind of a contradiction, or is it just me?
I understand where you was going, because I don't see a difference between the two. So I understood where you was going. So to me, I'm like, but also what he keeps saying about the control part, it's like I get it, but if they own these things, they're not controllable things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're the same, dog. I don't see no difference. They're just the same shit. I'm on the side of neither. They're the same to me.
Oh, was it a contradiction or not? The question was whether him stating.
It sounded. It did sound to me.
Let me get in there right quick. So are y'all telling me you can't want to be the center of attention and not be friendly? Because I met some people that like attention, but also, wait, let me finish. I met some people that like attention, but also don't engage with a lot of people either, but they do like the eyes on them. So are y'all telling me that you do like the eyes? So
to answer your question, no, you cannot, because if you want to, because you're just talking about somebody who just say, I would like attention. When you meet people, there's men and women who act like this, people who want to be the center of attention, they're friendly as fuck. Most people who want to be the center of attention are not shy, and they're not these other things. Now you talking about somebody who just be like, I might want some attention, but they're not actually extroverted. Most of the time, when somebody wants to be the center of attention, they're typically extroverted, dog. The majority of the time, that's an extroverted person. I met females that are big on social media, posting all kind of pics and getting likes and getting people friend requesting them, and they don't respond to nobody. And I've seen females in social spots. And I've seen females in social spots like that to be the one that doing all the crazy dance in the middle, but they won't dance with a lot of people. They don't interact with a lot of people, but they like getting down. They like showing off, and attention is on them. Yeah, being a center of attention is just somebody who wants to be seen. They don't have to do them engagements. That's what I'm saying. And you could like to be seen, but necessarily not be overly friendly and always engaging. Those two things can happen at the same time.
But we talking about in your specific thing that you said about you don't necessarily see a red flag of wanting the center of attention because you want your woman to be able to, network and use it to your advantage. So this person has to engage with people if you want her to be doing it for that aspect. So what comes with being a center of attention comes with being too friendly. I get it when you say like some people. It's not too friendly. It's not too friendly if her job is to go out there and create deals. If we go into a spot and her job is to socialize, is to network, she wouldn't be being too friendly. But if she's doing it all the time and it's inconvenience our relationship, that's when I consider it too friendly. If I want it to happen, it wouldn't be too friendly because I want it to happen. All right, I'm just saying, like, because you consider too friendly as being a red flag, but now it seems like it's just a red flag depending on the instance.
Yeah, because people are too. So
then it's not a complete red flag.
The way I look at it is people that who really like to be the center of attention. Some of those people also know how to control it. People who are too friendly typically are too friendly all the time. That's the way I see it as well too. I don't understand why you keep saying all the time, because it's actually not all the time. Besides, it's like every time you say all the time, I'm like, what is this all the time? Well, we know not 100%. When I speak on being too friendly, it's like anybody that walks up to them on any day, they just smiling in the guy's face. They're very touchy. People like to talk and touch. They interact with everybody. I mean, like they're all the time. Of course, not 100% of the time, but most of the time, they're just overly friendly.
I mean, some people consider that flirting.
That's
that's over. I think that's
Yeah.
That's where it crosses the
that's
line.
like flirting, like you overly
Yeah.
and all of that. Like that's crossing the line between friendly.
But it's still the same lines of being overly friendly though. Because
But
that's
it's
why
still,
I'm
but
looking
I agree. I agree. It's still the same line of being overly too friendly. But you have that with people that want attention as well.
No, because people
I
that
don't
want
understand
attention
how
ain't
you trying
necessarily
to
touching you.
separate it.
People that want attention ain't necessarily interacting with everybody. They also have avenues.
Okay, this person that wants attention from a specific person or something. They are not. When people want attention, it don't matter where it comes from. They want it all. It don't matter who's it from. That's the difference from liking attention and wanting attention and seeking attention, because it don't matter who it come from. You want it. It boosts your ego. Most women just like attention from a specific person, a specific guy, or whatever. They not trying to do too much for everybody. A person that likes him, a person that wants attention, it don't matter who is it coming from. It don't matter even if it's girls, men, whoever. They want it from everybody.
I disagree, because there's women that want attention.
I'm gonna add that to the list that you said. You know, a lot of women on social media that have a lot of following, and know that, because that's something else that you know a lot of. I don't understand how you know all these people.
Man, say he get around.
I get
on
around.
social media too. You get around on social media.
Not as much now. At one point, I was only a good bit. Not religiously though. Not religiously though. But yeah, to wrap it up. Like I was saying,
we got Mike Joe in the chat, man. He said that might just be how they is, man.
What part? What part is he referring to?
He ain't put all that in his message.
I'm seeing if anybody can determine what part he's talking about.
Listen, Mike ain't put all that in there now. He was very simple. He didn't say all that.
What part you talking about, Mike Joe? If you're watching it, put it in the chat.
Do y'all think men or women have, like, when men have a lot of red flags more than women? Or do women have more red flags than men? Well, I'm just saying, like, a man's standards. Do he have like a list of red flags? He has a lot of on his list of red flags, or do women have more red flags on their list for men?
I don't know how to answer that one, because it's kind of hard, because both people operate differently. Like if the man is typically the breadwinner, certain things that may be a red flag about a woman, he would have to do if he's the breadwinner. Like I think a male would have to interact with both sexes more than the female would have to. Now, some females will understand that, but to some females, that may be a red flag, especially if he's the breadwinner. You know what I'm saying? A man typically is more like at a supervisor, management type role. Females ain't usually at those roles as much as men. So I think men operate with both sexes more than females do, as far as having to do that.
What they got to do with the red flag part, though? I don't understand.
I'm saying,
a red flag is like, if it's like a red flag would be something like, if certain people red flag would be like operating with the other sex or having female friends or male friends.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Chris.
The question was, well, like, you see how he lists the red flags that's for women. Do men have a longer list of red flags that they try to see in women, or do women have a longer list in red flags that they try to see in men?
What I'm saying is, if one of those red flags are interacting with the opposite sex, I was speaking on that point, because I think a man would have to interact with both sexes more than a female has to.
So what's your answer to her question, though?
Yeah, okay. My answer to the question is, I'm not sure. It's kind of difficult, because I don't know everything that female would see as a red flag. You know, I don't know what all females see as red flags. I know what I see as red flags, but
yeah, we're gonna talk about that next week.
All right, let's go off. Like, everybody's seen some type of videos on like social media when it's a video of a woman like, you should watch out for this red flag, this red flag, this red flag. Do y'all think the list of those red flags and for the women is longer than the list of red flags that the men say women have?
I think women typically have more red flags, because women are typically more like naive to certain things. That's how I would look at it. I think men are more simple, so even though they may have red flags.
I'm glad you said that. So do y'all believe that men red flags are more simple things than women red flags?
Possibly, because it's more complicated with females because they are more social naturally. That it's kind of hard to dictate what's actually being numb and what should be a red flag. And females are naive, so they may not see it as a red flag, and it may not be nothing that they're intentionally doing, but it actually is a red flag. They just don't know no better. Like KJ, remember the episode we seen of a show where they was talking about having a man come over to the hotel at 11. They was acting like they didn't see nothing wrong with it. With inviting a man over to the hotel. See, a lot of women have red flags. They don't know it's a red flag. So I think they have more just because of the naiveness of a woman. I think dudes, if it's a red flag and you call it out, they would be more willing to address it because they would be able to see it from your viewpoint.
So then to answer her question, then you would be saying that the man have a longer list than the woman then.
Yeah.
A longer list, yes. For the female, yes.
Yeah, so the man would have a longer list of red flags, not because it's not his flags, it's her flags.
It's
so
her
yeah,
flag.
So he would have a longer list than her.
Yes.
So yeah, I was going to actually agree to that. I was going because at first I was going to say on a personal level, I was going to be like, well, it would depend. It kind of would depend on the individual because it builds around the insecurity of the individual. But if we're going to speak in general, because to answer her question about being a longer list, I think men definitely have a longer list of red flags than women do.
Agreed.
And like Mike Joe said in the chat, he said he think men expect more. So because men expect more is typically why they have more flags that resonate more than them too. Because they expect more out of women than a lot of times what women expect out of men.
Right. And all these red flags that men have are like more like
wait. Caprice, you gotta let Josh answer first before you move to your next question.
I agree with y'all. I said I agree.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, please.
Do y'all think the list for men is more logical, simple things, or they are like, I don't know, kind of like coming from a woman perspective when it's just like, all right, you doing too much with your red flags?
That's kind of tough because it's based on the man and the woman that he's with. But go ahead, I can come back around.
Answer it, and then I want to show y'all something.
So I think all the red flags are simple, right? So just like the purpose of the show, right? Red flags are simply indicators of things that you should pay attention to because they could possibly be a problem. They can possibly grow to be something greater. So I think all the flags are simple. You get what I'm saying? I think every red flag is simple. Hold on, Caprice, let me get your stuff set up. I see what you.
Wait, no, finish saying what you're saying, and then you can put it up.
But yeah, so like I was saying, I think all red flags are simple. I think everything is simple because the red flag, only thing it speaks to is that this is a sign which could potentially lead to something worse. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. The flag is just a sign. It doesn't mean that it's something actually there. It's a sign that it could possibly lead to something. So to all these things, the reason why I had to list them, all these things are red flags because all these things could possibly lead to something. Even when I hear Matt explaining like the control aspect, I get it, but those things still could possibly lead to something because that's what a flag is. A red flag is a warning sign. It's like caution. Like, yo, be careful.
So, do y'all think a single mom is a red flag? Just yes or no answers. Just yes or no.
I mean, I say no if it's just a yes or no answer. No, because I don't know where it's leading to. Just being a single mom in itself, no.
Nah, it's just hard to date them.
Yeah.
It's being jealous a red flag.
Just a naturally jealous person.
Just being jealous.
Yeah, I don't like no jealous type. I mean,
I would say yes. I would say yes overall.
I say yes to the single mom thing, and I say yes to here because like I keep saying, it's about potential. Now, she just want yes or no answers, but I could dive into it. But yes.
All right, now you can share my screen.
Year one, when you start dating, as soon as a chick's like, "Hey, Rich, I think your vibe. Where do we?"
Can you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been seeing each other for a while. I want to claim you. I don't want anybody else to have you. Can we be exclusive? Blah blah blah. As soon as you get to that point, that's when you start looking at her, going, "Okay, She doesn't have any of my red flags. Daddy issues. She's not a feminist. She's not unhappy or unlucky. She doesn't try to compete with me. She doesn't keep men around from her past. She's not poor with money. She's not violent. She doesn't have extreme jealousy. She's not a party girl. She doesn't have tattoos or piercings. She doesn't have a big notch count. Not a single mom. She doesn't seek validation online. She's not a sugar baby. She's not a pathological liar. Doesn't have baby rabies. Doesn't throw hissy fits. I'm in full control of the birth control. She's not a drama queen, and she doesn't have an addictive personality.
God damn.
So wait. So would y'all agree with those red flags?
I agree with everything man said.
All of those are red.
You agree with everything he said?
Yeah, I don't think it's too hard to find a woman that possess all those qualities that he spoke about. That ain't too hard. She should,
like I said, man, the red flag concept simply speaks to warning signs of something that could potentially be a danger or a threat. That's all it is. So I think all red flags are simple.
And that kind of go back to the question that you had posed of who has a longer red flag list. See, all those red flags that he has for a female, also, a female gift is also her curse, because females are more social. They're more outgoing, which is, I guess, the same thing, but they're just more like lovable people. So the same thing that make us love y'all is also the same thing that creates red flags. Because, like I say, most guys are simple. Females, it's a lot of complexity to females. They have way more multiple relationships. A typical guy you're not gonna see with another gay man. The typical woman you will see with another gay man or a gay female. Like, y'all interact with more people. Y'all in more situations. Y'all have way more friends. Y'all in more y'all in a whole. It's just a lot of different complexities with females, and that's why men would have a longer list of red flags. And a lot of females, like I say, are also naive to a lot of things because they have been protected. They don't have to deal with the consequences like we have to. So we see things before y'all see a lot of things. So it's a lot of things y'all don't see as red flags. That's why y'all list isn't as big as us. But we be like, whoa, that's a red flag. So
yeah, I definitely agree. Josh, you had any flags you wanted to add to this list that we might not have spoken about?
No, none at the moment.
Caprice, did you have any red flags on the women, upon the women's side that you wanted to add that we might not have touched on? It might be some things you've seen from your perspective that men might not catch that probably should be a red flag to them.
I'll throw one more in there after she go.
For women, I mean, the stuff that I would say is red flags, men typically look at as green flags. So
what? Like what?
Like they see the red flag, but they just still go through the motherfucking light.
But that's what I'm saying. So is it a red flag that we haven't mentioned?
I guess a woman that's worried about, like, I mean, it's a difference from her needing to know how much you make, depending on if your finances is gonna collab together, or a woman dating you and she asking you, like, how much money you make. I think that's a red flag.
I think it's a red flag if she don't ask me how much money I make. But
I ain't trying to have no woman over my goddamn business anyway. Talking about how much money I make.
I feel like a person of men that feel like that's not a red flag is like you want the woman to know how much you make, so that could be more appealing for her wanting to fuck with you. Because what would be the reason of a woman knowing how much you make if in a dating stage if y'all not even thinking about?
I'm big on trajectory of life and lifestyle.
Her asking me how much money, her asking me about how much money I make is something she would have to do after we already like together. You ask me about how much money we make, and I'm not with you, nigga. That's a flag. The fuck you need to know how much money I make, and I'm not even with you.
Exactly.
Absolutely no sense at all. Now if we together and then we talking, this is a different conversation. If I'm not with her, you don't even know what kind of fucking money I make.
Well, we didn't differentiate what part of the relationship, but
I did say that. I said when you just dating somebody.
Okay, it's according to what stage in the dating. I mean, I don't necessarily have to be fully with you. We've been dating for a couple weeks, a couple months.
It's called dating, then it's called, being together, then it's called...
If we not together, that's none of your damn business.
Dating is just getting to know somebody. Like,
Because I don't like the whole getting together first and then ask the question that you need to know beforehand. I don't like that whole.
No, after y'all when y'all
I'm
dating.
speaking what KJ said. I'm speaking what KJ said.
No, when y'all dating, y'all go over like if y'all figure out if y'all want to be serious, and then y'all start having those conversations about that type of stuff.
But I don't have to tell. I don't have
depends.
to tell you how much money I make. The only conversation I would tell you is what I do for a living. I don't have to tell you how much money I make.
Yeah,
like, why am I telling you how much money I make?
Yeah.
You don't need to know how much money I make. Like if I'm not in the placement, if we're not in a place where I'm doing something for your life, why do you need to know how much money I make? And I think that goes both ways. Like,
agreed.
What are we talking about?
I mean, but you can really tell depending on what profession.
It depends on how you act. If you say what you do for a living and how much money you make.
That's what I said. That's what I said. But you can also tell, like you could just tell somebody what you do for a living.
And they can estimate how much
and then they can make the estimate, but the directness of you asking me how much money I make doesn't make sense to me.
I get what y'all saying, and I agree with y'all now that y'all break it down, because I'm looking at it for the same aspect of that. If she asks you what you do for a living, that's another way of asking you around how much you make. It's the same. I mean, it ain't the same thing, but it's around the way of doing it. It's
not
ballpark.
No, it's not, because typically, I mean, she could probably later on assume how much money you make, but typically when somebody asking you what you do for a living, it's not necessary to find out how much money you make. It's just more so of getting to know you and seeing what you like, how your lifestyle is, like what you got going on. Is if you want to know how much money somebody make, they're just gonna ask you how much money you make. And these women out here are not scared to ask you how much money you make.
No, because a lot of females know that's the red flag, and a lot of females, they will ask you what you do. And then they'll be like later on, oh, I looked it up and I saw this, that. You make pretty good, and like I've heard that before.
And I think that's a red flag to go off of what somebody tell you they do for a living, and you assume how much money they make, because that don't mean that person is making that money because what he do for a living.
Well, you look at the average median.
I'm not gonna assume. No.
So my dog Mike put a flag up there.
I got a flag too. I want to throw in there.
Okay. Well, you want to go first, or you want me to address what Mike said?
Yeah, let me go first, because I don't know that probably gonna take us off. I was gonna say, well, we ain't got to answer this first. We can ask the Mike Joe question first too, but I just want to put this out there before I forget. Like, a person that's being very secretive and not in just what they don't tell you. Like, how remember we made the situation before, KJ, where I was like, I wake up and she just ain't beside me. She just went somewhere and she come back and don't say nothing, or she been gone all day and you like, what you did today, and she just don't say nothing. Like, is it a red flag if she just moving like a secret,
like a grown adult?
Yeah, but
a human being.
Well, y'all at the table eating dinner. She got her phone upside down. I'll be back.
I mean, that's a different red flag.
I'm saying all this is secretive though. All this goes in the secretive bag. Y'all at the dinner table eating. Her phone is upside down. Hey, I'll be back, baby. Where you going? Oh, don't worry, I'll be back. Like, she just like not transparent about what she's doing outside of the house. Is that a red flag to y'all? Or
I think the last two things you said was a red flag, but the first thing, no. This is somebody get up while you sleeping and doing stuff without checking in with. I mean, telling you before they go out or what they doing. Like, I don't think that's a red flag.
Well, you cut me off before I was finished, because I mean, as soon as you heard it, you started laughing and cut me off. I was gonna say when they just moving around and they're not saying nothing. Like when they come back and you're like, hey, where you went? And they just ain't saying nothing. Oh, don't worry about it. I just went somewhere. Like, if they always like that, would y'all say that's the red flag? Along with the other stuff, they just a secretive person.
Yeah, that's definitely a red. That fuck a red flag, nigga. That's a problem. Like you just ain't saying nothing. That's it. That's a problem. Like, immediately I'm like, hold up, because I'm gonna start thinking like, hold up, where my gun is? Is this bitch trying to set me up? Like, why you doing all this moving? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you gotta start answering some questions. Like, especially if I ask you, because how you pose it, you pose even asking her, and she was like, nah.
Yeah, like the accent part is different from them just getting up and doing moves. Like,
I agree. That's why I was finishing the context.
You said me waking up and you ain't there, like.
But I was finishing the context. I know. As soon as you heard it,
that's a problem.
The context. And like I said, y'all eating dinner. She had the cell phone face down all the time. It's like, I ain't trying to look at your phone, but damn, you making it obvious. You making me wonder what the hell going on.
First of all, I think it's a red flag for y'all to be living together and she got her phone at the dinner table. Like, nigga, it's so many rooms in this motherfucking house. Why are we acting like we on a date right now that you gotta have your phone right next to you? Like, I don't even get that, to be at the table with a phone.
She might be waiting on her to call her.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it ringing in the other room if her mama call her.
Hey, every time I come around you got your phone off somewhere. What's going on?
Now, all right, now you're doing too much. You took them out off, like, you mean like off, like the ringer is off, or like turned off?
Okay, wait. So let me ask a question that's very similar. Then, is it a red flag for her or him to keep their phone always face down? Like, you know, some people be like, yo, like every time they do it, they sit their face down. Is that a red flag when every time they put their phone face down?
100%.
No, because my shit got the lock on it, so it don't matter.
But if somebody call you, it's still gonna show the person that's calling though. It ain't about them looking in the phone.
Well, like in your presence, like they keep facing it down.
Yeah, like anytime they're around you, they always got their phone face down. Is that a problem? Like, is that a red flag?
Yeah, I think that's a red flag.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that is a red flag because that kind of go on the line of like how what Matt's saying, like they're real secretive.
Yeah.
Especially if like you hear like a notification and then they go to look at the phone and boom, and then they put it right back down, face down. It's like, oh, okay, what you do? Oh, so let me address Mike Joe. Mike Joe said, calling an ex your friend or best friend, flag on the play, major.
Ooh.
If they just calling them that, calling your friend or best friend, flag on the play. Or
calling your ex a friend or a best friend.
Oh, your ex. I missed that part. Damn, that's a big part. Your ex, your friend or your best friend. Yeah, I don't fuck with that. I think we talked about that before.
I mean, if y'all had a friendship before y'all even start dating, you had that strong friendship. I mean, I don't think that should get in the way. I mean, I have a different opinion. I don't see that.
You calling somebody friends that know how her mouth feel.
Nigga, I don't fuck females and we friends and their husband or baby daddy or whatever knows. And that shit don't bother me.
Can you get that pussy again?
No.
You can't get that pussy again. Okay then. Okay.
But you just spoke from like a side nigga placement. But what if it's your lady though? I get the player talk, okay? I get the player shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Fuck the player shit. This your lady, nigga. This your lady.
The opposite side. It ain't the opposite side that's got an issue with it. It's the person that's with the joint they share.
Yeah.
They got an issue
if this your lady and she's saying her ex is her best friend, you ain't got a problem with that?
But you did say you didn't want your woman to have male friends. Did you say that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm secure in my masculinity.
It's a red flag for a woman to have the opposite sex friends.
Huh?
He was trying to see if, like you said, that it's a red flag for women to have male friends, but you said it wasn't a red flag.
No,
okay. I'm about to say if he said that, he should definitely think the ex is a red flag.
No, because
he was on the side that it wasn't.
I got you.
Yeah, because if she go, I mean, I'm to the point in my life. It is what it is. She go leave me regardless because fucking around. That means she wasn't really meant for me. So fuck it. I'm not gonna stress and all that shit.
But this is the thing too, though. This is the thing too. You got to be careful what you open the gateway to, though. Like I understand the mentality of whatever happens, but that doesn't mean that you should enable the behavior, though. Like to walk the mentality of saying, hey, if she gonna do it, she gonna do it, don't mean that I'm gonna allow you to be going on dates with your ex because you calling him your best friend. You still have to it still has to be a level of, hold up. I'm not gonna enable the behavior though. Like I'm not gonna say, hey, go ahead, that's your friend, go ahead, go out with him. Now, I know y'all dated for 5 years, whatever may have you. You done had a couple of miscarriages and all that. I'm not gonna enable the behavior. I'm not gonna say, hey, well, she gonna leave, me. Go ahead, baby. Go on that date. What the hell?
So y'all got trust issues. That come down to trust.
Have you ever been in love with a female?
One time, and after she broke my heart,
he said he spoke that on the show before.
Yeah,
I thought so. I thought so. But I know most of the time he say he ain't really looking for no relationship or anything serious or making a female. So I think you look at a lot of things from a point of view of you don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like he look at it from the point of view of he ain't trying to be in a relationship anyway.
No, I'm saying like I don't give a fuck. So
until somebody got down, come in my life and make me feel that way. I mean,
so
I don't say I don't give a fuck. I just ain't find the right one.
So if it's a female that make if it's a female that make you feel in love like how you was with the other female, you still would be okay with her having the ex that she called her best friend?
If I trust her that much, no, I still won't have a problem because it's all about. Ain't you saying it's all about trust? Ain't you gotta have trust in the fucking relationship?
Yeah, I trust my standards more than I trust the female though. But go ahead.
Yeah, I trust my principles more than I trust you.
Yeah,
then y'all have trust issues, right?
Listen, when I hear people use the term insecurity, I'm never one of them people who move away when I hear the term insecurity. Nigga, insecurity is an innate emotion. Insecurity means you're uncomfortable. Insecurity is how the fuck people stay alive. Hold up. Oh shit, too many niggas in here. This don't feel right. That is an insecurity.
That's intuition.
That's called insecurity. Because you don't feel secure. That's an insecurity. These are insecurities, bro. Now, this message Mike put in his for you, Josh. He said that nobody is your friend. Y'all both shared her insides and out. You might as well say you and that man is besties too. LOL.
Thanks.
I mean, I ain't got nothing to say. I mean,
shout out Coley Ray, man. Hey,
yeah, it's a red flag. It's a red flag with me. It's a red flag for me if I'm just meeting a female and she's still close with an ex to hers, because it tells me that you ain't. It's a possibility you ain't moved on. It's still attachment there. So forget us being together. If I meet you and we knowing each other, I've been in that situation before, and it always has been a problem.
And one of the reasons why I agree with that is because a lot of women don't let go of their past situations, and a lot of times those past situations they still be sleeping with them and all this other stuff.
It's a red flag if she's still like talking to her ex.
If when he meets her, they still cool. If her and her ex are still cool like that, like on a friend level,
yeah, like
when they meet, that's a red flag.
I'm not talking about.
Are we talking like cool or friend level?
That's what I'm about to say. I'm not talking about the situation where a female got an ex and every now and then they check up on each other, or they just have conversations random. I'm not talking about that because that's going to happen until she meets somebody that she wants to be serious with. I'm talking about they still hanging out together. They still going to have drinks. They super friends. Like no.
I don't know. Some females use their ex as placement holders. Just like men use women as placement holders until they get to the person that they really want to be with. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand how that could be a double standard for men could have placement holders for women and women can't have placement holders.
I think females should look at it as a red flag if a man too close with a female that's his ex. I think that's both ways.
Yeah, I'm about to say it goes both ways.
So is it a red flag for this ex to like? I guess it's more so people that have children. For this ex to come over, like if it's to pick up the children or whatever, and they just freely moving around their motherfucking house. Is that a red flag?
I don't have kids, so I'm not going to answer that.
I think it depends on the interactions within it.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
And I think the difference matters too of how that person's relationship was. Like if it was somebody who was kind of like just their baby mama, baby daddy, versus somebody they were actually married to and all that, I think a lot of those dynamics they create the pitfall to that. Because some people have been close enough to where it's certain things that are there that you're not going to get because you don't know what it's like to really be there with that person. So I think it just depends.
I would say though.
I don't know because like for me, if like my kid's father was to come over and pick up the children or whatever, like it would be some wait at the door type shit. It wouldn't be like you walking in and out of rooms and.
Well, but that's because your answer is predicated upon your relationship with him, though.
I think it would be even if it was somebody that I was cool with or whatever. Like I still think it's just like a boundary for me. I don't want the ex to feel too comfortable of moving around in my nigga shit.
Wait. I'm about to say it's an element too we need to explore. Are y'all together, or is this just your house?
I said my nigga shit, so it ain't my house. If it was my house, that would be a boundary for me.
But that's what I'm saying. So is it? So that's what I'm saying. So is it your house or is it y'all house?
It's his house.
What do you mean his house? Is it y'all house or your house?
I get you saying it when she over there and the kids.
It's a red flag if like I'm dating somebody and I see they ex freely moving around and they.
But that's what I'm okay. So that's what I'm asking. Is it?
That's
is
like
it,
a warning sign for me.
So you're speaking to it being that guy. It's being to the guy.
It's a warning sign for me. Like, will this shit cut off? Like when shit gets serious, or this gonna be an ongoing thing? Because I think it has to be bound, especially with females. I get it when it comes probably to some men, but when females, when they feel like they could freely walk around their ex's house and shit, it's a little bit of disrespect to the new woman. It's like feeling like, oh, I got like, even though you here, I could still, come up in here and move how I want to move. And that ain't flying with me. So it's kind of a
I understand. I understand the setup. I understand the setup, but I think it's also predicated upon how people lay ground rules down. Like personally, I don't believe, I say this all the time, I don't believe the lines should be shared with somebody who you're with, like, because I don't believe in girlfriend, boyfriend. I think that's childish. Really, it's just so I don't think any of that plays a part until y'all actually decide to really be together. So I just don't think those lines fit that. I don't think it's disrespectful to anybody if y'all not fully actually like moving upon that verse. That's just me personally.
Right, but I'm just saying it's a red flag because, like we said,
yeah. So in terms of just red flag,
normally what you do when you're dating somebody, you're pointing out the red flags. You don't get with the person, then try to start seeing red flags. Like
no. That's one thing. I agree with you.
When you're dating and getting to know this person, and this happens, it's a red flag because this has a potential to be disrespect down the line.
I agree.
Let me ask you a question, Kevin, because I heard you a few times say if it ain't a relationship yet, it wouldn't apply. So let me ask you something. If you talking to a female or a female that's talking to you, do you not start analyzing stuff until you actually get together? Like, because I heard you a few times say, well, they shouldn't ask this or this shouldn't happen until we.
So there becomes a moment. When there becomes a moment when you say, all right, I'm gonna go this distance with this person, and then that's where these things come into play. Remember, I believe in connecting with people genuinely. So I don't believe in when I'm dealing with people that I'm looking forward to you being anything like that. I believe in getting to know who you are first, and then once I get the things I have needed to learn, then I make the decision of whether or not this is a person I'm going to move on with. And the moment I have made that decision is now where the rules move into it. I'm also one of the people who don't believe in long engagements and things of that nature neither. So it's like it'll be a very fast process.
But you would ask those questions you need to ask before you actually started like getting in the.
Well, I'm gonna get to know them anyway. I'm gonna ask all kind of questions.
I got you.
Because I'm not going into it also trying to make you my lady. You get what I'm saying? I'm going into it just having regular conversation. The reason why I'm going to it is a regular conversation because I want you to be as honest as possible. See, if I go into it with the mindset now on both ends, she's triggered a certain way by certain things that are said, and then you become triggered by certain things that are said. So I'm not walking into it with my antennas up because I have not made the decision that I like you. Like this is the getting to know you process. So I'm gonna ask you all kind of questions.
Which I agree with because I wouldn't go into it with my antennas up either. But it's certain things that would raise your antenna to be like, hold up, if I get serious with this person, is this gonna be a problem? Is this
I would say
person going to be able to nip this in the bud if I tell them this is a boundary for me when we get serious? Are they going to really be able to control this and this doesn't mess up the dynamic between, like, especially with the co-parenting?
I got you. I asked that question because I don't believe
y'all co-parenting, and because my boundary is starting to like make the other person feel like they could keep the children away from you and stuff. Then I don't know if I mean, that person really don't have nothing to do with our relationship. But if I respect this person as a father, it's kind of a hard thing for me to be like, because of my boundary, they are not being able to see their kids because this person want to be an asshole.
So I agree with you. That's why I asked that question. That's why I asked that question of was it your house or their house? Because if it's a situation where we're moving in together, that changes the dynamics dramatically, though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's our house. It's a difference if it's my house and somebody's in my house versus if it's our house. Because you have autonomy over our house. You don't have autonomy over the other person's house. That's why I said that makes a big difference, though.
So when you get serious with somebody, you're gonna go get another house? Because I heard you plenty of times say, like, because your house paid up, you're not moving.
What that have to do? What that have to do? Wait. What does that have to do with the subject that's at hand?
Even with the person coming in, that would still be your house.
If y'all live together, it changes it. If that's their home as well, that's a big difference. There's a difference between somebody living there and then someone don't live there. I was very clear about that.
Okay, so you're saying the person that come in, they could consider your house as their house too.
If they live there, it's their home. There is no consideration. If they live there, they live there.
All right, they can have some type of autonomy over the house.
They have autonomy because they live here.
Okay.
Ain't no some type. You do. If you lay your head here as well, this is your house.
Okay. I'm just saying, it'd be some people that be like,
the reason I say about addressing some of these red flags before a relationship happens is because I don't believe people just stop things at the snap of a finger. I believe it's a process. Like when I hear females on some of these shows, they talk about if they ain't in a relationship with the next guy, they can keep sleeping with their ex up until the point that they actually commit to their new guy. Like I don't believe you can continue to be having sex and we cool with each other, we dating or whatever. Then once I want to get in a relationship with you, you're just gonna stop cold turkey and not even dip. Huh?
If you that man.
I mean, it's possible. All the things possible. I say I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? I believe
if there's some type of doubt in you as a man, maybe that person won't cut it off. But if you are what they are looking for, I believe that for men and women, you will be able to cut off that. You will be able to ghost that nigga gonna think you died.
No, because y'all forgetting about routine and y'all forgetting about attachments. If you've been sleeping with somebody for a long time and you have a connection with them, that don't just stop. Even if the next person can be better than that person, it still ain't no just stop because it still is a routine and an attachment there, especially for females, that sometimes still is hard to break. That's why a lot of people cheat when they get in a relationship. The beginning of that relationship, they cheat for like that first few months, and then they eventually stop. But it's a lot of people that cheat at the beginning of a new relationship because they still have an attachment with something that was going on previously.
That's because people jump into relationships.
I mean, that's my whole point, though. I don't believe it stopped.
I think it could be either way. I wouldn't say, oh, you wouldn't be able to.
I ain't saying impossible.
I think it's either way. You can still have an attachment to that person and not want to let it go, or you can let it go for that right dude that you got that you want. Yes, you can. Or women, whatever.
Sometimes the right dude or the right woman come along and people are blinded by attachments. That don't mean that the person wasn't the right dude. You make this life would be super easy if the right person came along and people just fell in line. It ain't as easy as you making it seem.
What is the right person?
What she's looking for. She said based on what the person, everything they're looking for. That happens a lot of times, and people still cheat. People still do whatever, and even though that happens, they still don't change their ways. Just because the right person come along that you're looking for.
Right person. See, and the reason why I asked what is the right person, because right could just simply mean they're the right person for that moment. That don't mean they're the right person for you for life.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have came in and been everything that they should have been at that time. They're the right person for the time, but that don't mean y'all got a future together.
And they could be the right person, and that person can still believe that they shouldn't stop doing what they're doing on the side. Sometimes the right person is a mark. It's a simp. That could be the right person as well.
It could be the right person, and y'all just don't share the same values.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might like their principle and the core of how they move and maneuver, and you might be like, idealistically, this is everything you want within a man, and he could be the best place for you, but that doesn't mean he feel the same way about you.
Let me ask you this, Caprice. I already know what you and KJ and Chef Joe will say. So let me ask you this question, Caprice, and this will be the last question I pose. If you got an ex, right, that you were having sex with, and y'all weren't together no more, but you still was messing around with him, and a new guy came along that you're feeling, at what point would you stop messing with the old guy? Would it have to be finalized that y'all in a relationship, or at a certain point, would you, if you see the momentum is moving towards a relationship, do you stop it early?
Is it just a new guy? Do I like this new guy?
Yeah, like you feeling him. He's a good guy. He has a good career. He like you. He like your kids. He wants a relationship. He's moving forward. But you still got this old guy that's having great sex. You enjoy his company as well. You still kind of like attached to that situation sexually, but you want to move forward with this guy. At what point do you cut that off? Do you have to fully be, that other guy has to fully commit to you as far as a relationship, or do you stop at a certain point and say, I see where this is progressing, let me fall back?
Once I start liking a guy,
you will automatically just cut before a relationship.
I have done it before.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Because some women, they don't stay back. Well, he ain't commit to me yet, so I ain't gonna stop.
Like a lot of men don't think that women have needs too. And I like y'all said, y'all want women to keep their body count low. Instead of me going out and having sex with a new person, I kept the sexual relationship with an ex. And once a person came on that I liked and I see where they was going and thought this would be great, I ghosted. Didn't even have a conversation. It was a cutoff.
That's what's up. I respect it. Because there's a lot. I've heard people say
especially because it's a difference of like, oh, it's your ex because you didn't want to be with them, or because they didn't want to be with you. Because if I didn't want to be with you, I don't see nothing and I'm just having a sexual relationship with you, is nothing going to cloud my judgment to want to be with you, because I know who you are already, and I know I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with you.
Well, I ain't say be with them. I'm talking about just the sexual aspect.
But I'm saying me having that sexual attachment with that person wouldn't even blind me from getting to know and cutting him off with a new person, because I know a relationship with you is not what I want.
I got you.
I don't know what Mike Joe was saying. He said, "Is it disrespectful for them to even be there anyway?" I think he might be talking about the situation about the ex being in the house.
That's iffy though, because like I've seen situations where somebody break up, and like if they got kids together, if that mother or that father, let's say example, the mother gets put out the house and she's doing bad, like she can't get her life together, that still is they son or their daughter's mom. So I've seen situations where they come over and they may be okay over that. I'm not saying it's not a red flag, but that don't mean that the guy's doing something with them.
That's what I said. I agree with saying that. Yeah, it's a red flag. It is a red flag.
Yeah.
Because remember, red flag speaks to potential of where things can go. So I agree with Caprice. That is a red flag, but it's a lot of dynamics behind it too, though. But yeah, it's definitely still a red flag.
The same way y'all say, like, men have it harder here, and if they get kicked out, they have to find somewhere to go. And if the person don't want them in their house, they don't want them in their house. I feel like the same thing should go for women. If your baby mother ain't got nowhere to live, she gonna need to find it out.
Our boy from
just like how these men figure it out.
Our boy that used
to grown ass woman.
I ain't gonna say his name on the stream, but our boy that used to work at Harvard with us, that live in Maryland. His ex-wife had to come stay because she ended up being homeless, come and stay with him and his new wife. He had the upstairs. I mean, upstairs or the basement, one of them. But anyway, she came over there for like a 2-year time frame.
It's a lot of people that I can admit that's better than me in this world.
Yeah.
But that's why I said a lot of this depends on how that relationship was. Like, Especially if you talk people like maybe people have been married for like a extensive amount of time or something like that. Like it's a lot of dynamics that go into this concept though. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just the fact of them being over there. And you gotta it's like you gotta understand placement. But like I said, I agree. It is a red flag. No matter how the layout is, it is a red flag because it's about potential. But
Yeah.
I mean, how it maneuvers, you're just gonna have to play it. You're gonna have to play it by that.
And
Because I'm telling
overall,
you right now,
how much of a warning sign is predicated on what I know about this ex.
and it's overall, and,
about this ex, the dynamics of your relationship or whatever. So
yeah, it's gonna be predicated upon because how much you know about them is what builds the insecurity. Because if they were too close, then you understand the danger might be actually heightened.
Why wouldn't you say insecurity? It would just be more so of like.
But it is an insecurity because you're not comfortable with it. The only way it's not an insecurity if you're comfortable with it. If you're not comfortable, it's an insecurity.
I wouldn't say that I'm uncomfortable with it. I just wouldn't. I just don't want it to happen because especially from my end, looking from a female mind of how some females could feel like, oh, because I can still move around in here, even though it's a new person. Oh, well, like it's just mostly of the disrespect aspect of it. And if I know certain things about this,
all the disrespect means is just you don't like it.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not that I'm uncomfortable with. It's just I don't like it because what I know about this person, because what I know about female nature, and I don't like it, but I wouldn't be insecure about it. Like,
and I say a lot of these things, not everything we talked about, but a lot of these things also, I do notice this though, like when I'm talking to a female that's like super transparent and you just comfortable with her, a lot of these things that are red flags it may still be red flag in a general aspect, but I don't worry too much about that person because it's that level of knowing that person, how honest and open they are with you, that's gonna make you comfortable with a lot of those situations. So I had a homegirl in Texas. We wasn't together, but she was just transparent and open about everything. Like she talked about her whole life, and when I see her with another guy, I don't feel like I gotta go over it, I gotta watch her nothing because she's a very transparent person. So it's also based on how that person moves that makes certain things uncomfortable with, because that person's a very transparent person. They're open with you and y'all had that connection. A lot of things you'll be like, okay, I feel comfortable with it. Now they still can happen, but it kind of subdues that comfortability you have with them. So
yeah, it goes back in like how Chef Joe said when he was talking about like just the concept of the trust issues. So it's like if you fully got that trust within it, then in a person, then there are people who would say this is not a red flag to them because they actually trust the individual. Now that doesn't mean that the overall circumstance, no matter who's in it, they might not trust, but it's not a red flag in that particular situation because of their level of trust for that individual.
For me, I'm not saying it's a red flag in the sense that I don't trust the person I'm with. It's a red flag in the sense that I don't trust that other woman, like her mindset. Because at
the end of the day, you can't. I mean, she can't do nothing more than what he allowed.
When I come into a situation where X has to be still involved, I need there to be boundary, and she understand that there has to be a level of respect from me. It don't have nothing to do with my man. No, none of that.
Oh, I know it's that part because I'm on the opposite side, right?
It don't have nothing to do with me trusting him because you could be around your ex or that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I trust you. I mean, if y'all want to go do something with the kids together, blah, 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 whatever. But when it comes to moving certain ways around the house that I live in my space, no, it needs to be some form of respect.
But that's why I asked that question. I think that the parameters is different if you're in the house versus not the house. Because if it's a guy and it's not your house, you have your own house and he has his, I think that changes this authoritative mind state that people have. It's still a red flag, but it changes it. It's a big difference if it's your house. If you living in the house, that's a big difference. Like you can't.
Yeah, I agree.
People can't come in and out the house that you live in. But if you don't live in the house, I think that offsets it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just like once you see, even when y'all not serious and you see it, y'all don't live in the same house. It's just like a warning sign. Like, is this going to continue or whatever? But if you say you can hear, if you say you're going to nip it in the bud, you do get serious. And I mean,
because I'm one of them people. Because I'm one of them people who on that side. Like, if you don't live in my house, you don't have a fucking say so about nothing in my house.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? That doesn't even make sense to me. You don't have a say so. You have your own
Yeah.
home. Now, if we are in the house together, that's when we be like, yo, then it's like, baby, whatever you say, now, whatever you said, which is law around this
Yeah,
concept,
I wouldn't
then
even.
I'm going to give you that. I'm going to say, hey, if you say you don't want her to even come in the house and we live together, boom, she can't come in the house then. Because
Yeah, I
now
wouldn't
we
even.
live here. But if you don't live here, you don't have a say so about shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't even voice like my boundaries and stuff until it's like we're being serious. When I say serious, like we're getting engaged to be married.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree with it.
We're moving in with each other. So I'm not even, if I see it and I'm gonna just take it as a warning sign, but I ain't gonna like say my grievances about it. Like for what? Because I'm pretty sure it's probably some shit that you might consider a red flag, but I'm not gonna give a fuck about it unless we being serious. Like, you want me to change some shit? Marry me.
But and that's how I feel about it. Like when I hear people who are too like really, really, really controlling, that's when you got to be like, yo, even for like men, like on the women's side, hey, you got to remove them off the street then. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be controlling if you're going to allow a woman to then be
single.
Like if you're gonna be controlling, then you need to remove her, give her your last name, and get her the fuck out the way. Then you have entitlement.
I don't even think you should have, even the people that do girlfriend and boyfriend, you shouldn't even have entitlement in that because that is not a secure relationship. That is not nothing that's secure.
I agree. I say it all the time because you either single or you're married.
A lot of people don't even want to admit that y'all just friends with the person that you fucking.
That's all that is. You either married or you're single.
How can you be like you in a committed relationship with a boyfriend and a girlfriend? Committed how?
There ain't no fucking commitment.
Committed to what?
How y'all committed? How y'all committed? What is the commitment? If y'all don't live together, y'all don't do nothing. Like, what is the commitment?
But y'all what they do to live together?
What is the commitment?
If they live together, they're roommates. Roommates that fuck.
I agree. I'm on that same mindset. I don't understand because I'm just a big stickler for. I think that we create problems when we blur those lines. I don't think you have the same level of entitlement. If you're not married to somebody, what entitlement of the wife? That doesn't make sense to me. I think there need to be clear lines. So you can't have the same level of say so if you're not his wife. If you his wife, you got it. But if you're not, I don't understand. And it goes the same way, vice versa. That guy don't have the same say. He don't have the same say, so it's not going to marry her. You don't.
I agree with them posts with the women or the men say like I'm not doing wifely duties in a girlfriend or a friend state. I agree with that, and if the rebuttal for the men is like, I'm not doing husband duties. Oh okay.
Like, I agree because a husband duties is for husbands. Her husband duty is not for a boyfriend.
Niggas be one.
That's why it's a husband duty. The entitlement. You have to live off the title.
Wife. You be wanting somebody to be a whole wife in a girlfriend placement. How? I'm single. When I file my taxes, when I fill out applications, it don't say in a relationship. It say married, divorced, single, and what I think widow or something like that. Man, no. Yeah. You have no ties to me for me to be out here moving as a wife. And I can't, and I hate the concept of like when they say like, oh, you need to be doing wifely duty. They need to see the wifely duties. And first of all, wifely duties for every man is different. So he has to see that. I don't need to do stuff that's predicated a wifely duty. He needs to see what he wants me to be. And if he see I have those attributes, then that's up to him.
Because there's a difference between like somebody who like say like if a guy meet a girl and this is just her, like it's not that she's trying to, it's not like she's an auditioning, but she's naturally the type of person that likes to cook. And then she invites you over. She's not doing it because she's trying to resemble a wife. She's doing it because that's just who she is. And she's naturally the type of person that asks you about your day and naturally to care about you and actually do certain stuff. If somebody just naturally does it and they're being them, that's just them being them. That's not them doing a wifely duty. She's just being who she is. And if it's a man who the people who he feel are close around him, he takes care of them, That's him being him. That even if you're not his wife, he still looks after you. That's just him being him. Because there are guys who simply look after everybody who's close to them.
Yeah.
So I just don't even blurring those lines. I'm like if you want entitlement of a wife, then you need to be the motherfucking wife. If you want the entitlement of a husband, you need to be the motherfucking husband. If not, you're just a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Biz Markie.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, gang. I mean, that's all I have. Next Monday we're gonna address this from the other end. We're gonna talk about the red flags of the men. So that's pretty much all I got. Y'all got anything else for the topic?
Nah, it was a good show for me, man. Great show, bro.
Yeah,
All right, man.
First show back in a minute. Well, for me. So yeah, it was good.
Nah, I mean, we kind of just jumping on all together. I mean, we jumped on last week, but I mean, we was all kind of a little busy. We was out here moving around, but we getting back on track.
Yeah.
All right, gang. Till next week, man. Peace.